we've got Adapt sitting back down with Namaste. Namaste the Samus main, and Adapt normally sticking to Pokemon Trainer, but right now he's been in a tizzy for a little bit. But let's see if he's found his way. Going with Falco for Adapt, and Namaste sticking with the Samus. I know that a lot of Samuses are not super fond of this matchup just because Falco has that really quick reflector to just wall out all of Samus's projectiles pretty well, and then Falco having his own laser, his own projectile to interrupt Samus's charging or shooting. We're going to be looking at a lot of neutral play in this game, keeping each other right outside of each other's range, making it so that got caught without a jump, unfortunately, and wasn't able to up beam time. Adapt wisely running right outside of that grab range to avoid getting grabbed. Samus having one of the longer grab ranges in the game, perhaps the longest. It's not slow by any means, not compared to the other games. Reading that he was going to shoot that out, and he just pulled out his reflector and said, "Nope, this is yours again." Falco positioning himself, ready to punish whatever option Namaste was going to throw out. And with that pressure, I don't think Namaste realized he didn't have a jump, and so he was not able to make it back to stage. Using these regular missiles pretty wisely to add actual pressure without having to commit too hard. Regular missiles being a little bit faster than super missiles are. Down throw forward air. Not something you see from a lot of Falcos since Ultimate dropped. It's not really true anymore like it used to be. It's a lot trickier to land, but it can lead into some neat things with up tilt, and up tilt being one of his gateway starters into anything from up air to back air to forward air. Ooh, Adapt getting caught underneath Smash Bros, getting pineappled by that slight spot. Getting pineappled by that spot where it's just flat and he can't go up past it. He does slide past it. Looking for Namaste to throw out this charge shot. Doesn't really have to commit too hard to do that with his reflector. Got caught backwards though, so he wasn't able to throw out the reflector. Just in case Samus might have come up into the range of it again. Getting a ledge jump and able to punish that air dodge with a back air.
Sorry, got it, Jack.
Giving it up the first game. Looks like game 2 is going to be fought on Kalos. We're going to see the Falco stay out. I think this is a pretty good stage for Falco because it helps him live a little bit longer. Namaste going. Hovering over Samus, but I'm not quite sure. Oh, choosing Samus. This being a good stage for Samus as well, just in general, because it is pretty much Final Destination with those two platforms, except it has those two platforms up there, and they're very close to the edge, so they don't really have to interact with platforms if they don't want to, and the only reason they would want to is if they wanted to be a little bit more campy. And so I'm going to be looking for a little bit more defensive play from this Samus to counteract the aggressive nature of Falco. Sitting and waiting in shield a little bit more to punish unsafe hits on shield with up B. Namaste getting caught with a back air. Not quite killing, only at 112, but he has yet to put more than 30% on adapt, and that is always a bad position to be in, especially if you're Samus, who relies on not necessarily getting early kills, but struggling to find confirms into kills it sometimes, usually relying on reads and guesses that your opponent may jump or be in the position that you want them to be in. That smash coming out, calling out that jump and taking out that stock at about 170, which is way too late, but he was able to play defense pretty well and avoid getting a lot of percent on him as well. Good back air coming out to push Falco back off stage, putting him in a ledge trapping situation. Unfortunately, Namaste wasn't able to capitalize on that and punish him for being at ledge with options like grab or down smash, or even dropping that bomb and setting up a little bit further away. Ooh, using that side B to take out that stock. He's gonna lose his own stock, but that does give him that gives him a whole stock lead, which isn't a crazy amount, but it is sizable enough to add pressure just to the situation by itself. Adapt playing really cleanly today. Got unfortunately matched up with a player who's had his number for a little bit in Golden Chaos in round 1. Adapt looking for that down air on the up B, but not able to find it, misspacing it just ever so slightly. I'm seeing Adapt use a lot of these drag down forward airs, and I really like them. I think they're a good tool to use in Falco's kit, especially when you have a lead, but you also want to pressure your opponent to come in. And that forward air, it is enough to take it at 153%. It looks like we're running it to Battlefield.
Stop battle! Falco! Mega Man!
Namaste picking up his Mega Man, and Adapt sticking with his Falco.
3, 2, 1, go!
So this is a little bit tricky for both characters, actually. Falco has a little bit tougher time getting in because of that leaf shield, and also Mega Man having a lot of presence right up close to it. But Mega Man has a lot of trouble keeping Falco out because of the reflector. So it's a little bit of it's a tough situation for both characters to get in on each other. We're going to be looking for Namaste to be really decisive with when he throws out his forward smashes, because of how potent they are. If Falco has time to pull out that reflector, he absolutely should and will, and that'll get him almost a free stock at above 50%. Namaste dashing away and then turning around and shooting those lemons. Really good ideas I'm seeing coming out. I'm looking for a little bit more of these wonky little things that Mega Man can do. Staying in shield to take the damage, letting the shield take the damage of that. Cracker Bomb? I don't remember the name of it. I know it's from Mega Man 7, but it's a very good one. Or move in Mega Man's toolkit just because of the way it works. Because you could stick people even when they're invulnerable, and then also, oh, that unfortunate air dodge is going to take it. Putting Adapt 2 stacks in the lead and only at 60%. I'd like to see a little bit harder neutral play. Namaste really focusing on his advantage state, which isn't necessarily bad as a character and as a player, but if you don't have a way to get into get into that advantage state, you're never going to be able to get it. If you don't have that neutral solidified to get into the advantage, you're never going to be able to get into it. Unfortunately, that is tournament stock for Namaste, but GG's, boys.